Now, the fourth P is tough because it means that you must part ways with people, products, or services that does not fit into your preferred future. Now, the reason that's difficult is because, for one, we need clarity on who and what we want to be in the future as an organization, as a business, and then who are the clients we are serving in the future, because that will then help us to determine the people and products and services we need, and then we must be prepared to part ways with those people or those products and services. Now, this is not about people being good or bad. This is about what the business requires to move forward. Now, what can happen is that if you are not prepared to take the time to create the clarity around destination, you may find that in actual fact you hurt people in the process. Whereby if you are clear, you can then have honest conversations with people along the way. So how do you evaluate whether someone is someone you want to either join your team or stay with your team? And the way to do that is to use a simple framework. Now, models for me are always a good way to create structure and consistency and clarity within the organization. So what I use is something I call my ASK model. ASK, right? In evaluating whether people suit or people will be suitable for going forward with you or your organization. So the first one we look at is the whole idea of potential and performance. Now, potential is the person's ability, what they have on their CV, what they've done in the past, what their gifts, their skills, their talents, or what history they have. You want to understand in terms of natural ability. Now, what you want to do in your interview process, you want to be able to dig for potential. And then performance, if the person obviously has not worked with you before, you want to be looking at what they've done, the history of the results, not just the history of the activity, but the history of the results. And you can see what the gap is between these two. And if you're able to distinguish a gap, then you know whether the person is moving in terms of their potential towards their performance, or it's a gap that is difficult to close. So you want to understand that. But what is going to determine whether the person is someone you want to hire, to be honest, comes from here. And this model looks at, first of all, attitude or behavior. Then you look at skills, and you look at knowledge. You see, you want to understand whether the person has the right attitudinal qualities or behavioral tendencies, the right skills and the right knowledge to be able to fit into not just your current organization, but your future organization. So be prepared if you cannot see how the person is going to shift, or the person may be unwilling to shift. Because for me, that you can train. This is either there or it's not, or if they have the tendency to want to shift or change that. However, if the person does not want to change the attitude, or the person has an attitude that clearly tells you they're not willing to change, you're going to have a problem. So you want to be able to deal with that very, very early in the game. But be prepared, because you may have people who are extremely knowledgeable and extremely skilled, but have the wrong attitude, which means that they are unwilling, not that they are unable to, it's about willingness. Now, sometimes you may see attitude that may be stemming out of a lack of this. So you need to dig a little deeper to understand why it is the person is behaving in that way. But once you've ascertained the person does not want to change and learn new skills and acquire new knowledge, then you know it doesn't matter what the gap is, you're not going to get the person to move from the potential they have to the performance that they are able to create or to perform at based on the skills and knowledge that they have. So I hope that this has given you some insight on my fourth P, which is be prepared to part ways with people, products, and services that are not in line or aligned to where you are going. Now we can spend another session just looking at products or services. But one thing I want to remind you, at the end of the day, the decision on this is going to be dependent on destination of your company in terms of products and services, in terms of your clients or your customers, because these are the things that will determine the type of people you need and the type of attitude, skills, and knowledge that you need your people to have to be successful. So again, Coach Ian B saying, I hope my fourth P has added value to you. Take time, take stock, look at where you are with your people, look at where you are with your products and services, and make a determination as to whether they're helping you now, or even though they may be helping you now, you may need to pivot because the future is going to be different. Take care, be blessed, stay safe.